cold day in Canada and I have the ultimate job hack for you. This is how I think you can get ahead of most people in the industry. This is how I believe you can, enter into the best situations within getting a job. I'm going to actually dive right in and screen share and show you what I saw and how I'd approach the situation. I know that 0.005% people actually do this. And this is why it's the ultimate job hack, is because nobody ever does this. So if you are able to do this, this will put you at the top of the list for most employers. Let's dive in. Here it is. Yesterday, I'm just on LinkedIn and I see this job from Olga. She's a recruiting sourcer. So Wallet, which is, she's looking for transaction monitoring, crypto fraud investigations, AML, English, remote, full-time. This is the position that everyone's begging for, right? How can I work remotely? How can I do crypto investigations? Here it is. And let me tell you the biggest mistake people are going to do. The first mistake is they're probably just going to go and quick apply for that job. Click the 4 buttons, quick apply through LinkedIn, and they get put on the list. I would actually love to see, I'm going to open it right here. I'm going to see if the actual job is in the list. Already, there's over, let's say, 100 applications. And you're like, well, Steven, how am I going to get past 100 people applying for this job? Funny that you asked. Let me show you right here. So, the first thing we're going to do is not jump in and just quick apply. We are going to set ourselves above every other person. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to figure out who is Wallet, right? I haven't heard of them up until this point. So I go on their page. It takes a little bit of effort to go to their actual LinkedIn company page. And they're basically, Wallet is an application of some sort that's on the Ton network, which is basically the Telegram messaging network, their own blockchain. So I go into Wallet. It looks pretty good here. And I'm going to go into the career page. And boom, I see all these positions in the career page. And what's important is I'm seeing how many investigations positions have they had. Usually when you see one, there's going to be a lot more. So we saw 6 months ago they hired investigations. We saw 1 month ago they were looking for a peer-to-peer analyst, which I would put in the investigations booth. They have it looking for a KYC specialist, and now they're looking for investigation specialists. So this is, a company, an organization, a protocol that's focused on AML and compliance. So our brains have to start working as to, okay, this is what they're interested in. They're probably building their network. If there's 51 to 200 employees and at least 3 or 4 of those are in the compliance department, that means they actually, have a compliance department. My brain starts going off on what is Ton, and how can I be the top candidate for investigations on this network? So the first thing I'm going to think of right away is that I heard a Ton before. I heard a Ton because I produced podcasts for a company by the name of Chainalysis, and one of their guests, Philip Ubit, the episode comes out on December the 16th if you're listening to this, actually talked a lot about Ton. They talked a lot about the Telegram user network of almost 1 billion, users of Telegram. So there's going to be some insights over there. But I also remember that, who's doing blockchain investigations? If they have AML investigators for a blockchain, then there must be some sort of investigations tool that needs to be used. So my first thing to do is I'm going to start Googling which blockchain investigations tool supports Ton or supports Wallet. What do I come up with? Boom, Ton Foundation enlists Elliptic to provide ecosystem analysis and security. So right away, I know Elliptic has something to do with it. Are they tracing on the blockchain? I don't know. But the first thing I'm going to do is hey, how do I become a top candidate? I am probably going to reach out to Elliptic and ask for a demo based on their investigation prowess that they have on the Ton network. The next thing I'm going to do, I need to be educated, and I want to work my way into Elliptic. So I'm going to find out if they have any courses or trainings that I can do with them. So I go to their insights, I go to education. You can see they have some basic stuff here, but I know they have certifications somewhere. So I'm going to find those certifications. I go to learning. Boom. Here's some certifications that they have, whether it's a specialist investigator certification. I am going to reach out to an education specialist. More than likely, it's either, it's in person or like virtually in person, or something I can do on my own. I'm going to reach out to them. I'm going to make a connection. I'm going to tell them about my interest in the Ton blockchain and why I want to be an investigator on the Ton blockchain. The same thing I'm going to do, I'm also going to do this for Chainalysis, right? So, does Chainalysis support Ton? That's what I'm going to put. And then boom, look at CoinMarketCap tells me that Ton Foundation partners with Chainalysis over a year ago. So I'm going to probably want to take Chainalysis courses. Obviously, we offer the Reactor course. So this is something that most people applying for these investigations positions already have. And then I'm going to then reach out to Chainalysis just like I did Elliptic. I'm going to ask them for a demo of the tool specifically around the Ton blockchain. There's got to be somebody in Chainalysis or Elliptic that loves this integration of Ton that nobody ever talks to because, Ton's not as sexy as Solana or these other, maybe blockchains, that is dying to talk to an ambitious person like you. And before you start thinking, how am I going to get a demo? I'm not a company. I don't have an email address that's from a company. This is where you have to, you're an investigator. Think, use your resources, reach out to somebody that has a company email address, send it out, get connected, pretend like you want to use their products or service. You have to be ahead of the game. The last thing I would even remember about Ton is this. My friend, Carlos Moreira, actually sent me a documentation saying, because there's not a lot of investigation tools tracking the Ton blockchain, he created his own way that he can investigate tools using explorers. And look at this. So my mind is blown right now. I have a person that's doing Ton investigations that wants to show other people how to do Ton investigations using free resources. He's going to be the first person I reach out to and say, hey, Carlos, can you show me how to do these Ton investigations? Then what I would do, when I apply, I'm going to do a video just like this of me screen sharing of how I would do a Ton investigation. There is no way, and correct me if I'm wrong, Olga, there is no way if I presented myself like this, and plus my resume looks a lot different. I've used the blockchain analytics tools that supports Ton. I've done investigations now manually using Explorer. So my resume looks a lot different than somebody that doesn't even know what the Ton network that is just quick applying. And then you're saying to yourself, well, Steven, this doesn't, where's the hack? The hack is the work. Nobody is going to do this. I know nobody's going to do this. Matter of fact, if you're still watching this video and you do this and you do a presentation showing how you've done an investigation on Ton using free explorers, using the blockchain analytics demos, I will personally refer you to people that I know do blockchain investigations for that network. I will personally do it. Signed, sealed, delivered. That is gots to be close to automatic guarantee job interview if I've ever seen one. And you're like, well, what if I don't get the job? Now you're building up the skills that it takes to get there. You do this once or twice or 3 times. Think of the connections you're going to make. Think of the conversations you're going to have because people see that you're doing all this work. Instead of just saying, hey, can you refer me to a job at Ton? You're like, hey, I built up my reservoir of investigation skills and prowess around Ton network. And then I would just go back into Ton and look at other jobs that they might have, either this company or other companies, because now I have the skills. Any other job that requires investigations on the Ton blockchain, I'm already the #1 candidate because there's nobody else other than the people already doing this job that have gone through the same process as me. And that's it, folks. That's how I approach every single job. Because once you get used to going through this process, you should be going through this process. You should be Googling as much as you can about the Ton. Find out everything you can about Ton. Who's the players? Who's connected them? Who's partnered with them? Why? By the time you get to the interview, you know more than a good chance than the recruiter that's recruiting you. And probably more than the talent person that's looking to set up the interviews. So much so, they're going to be like having to ask the hiring manager, like, hey, this person's asking me a ton of questions about investigations, about Toncoin. What should I do here? I literally don't know what to do here. I literally don't know how to answer these questions. And then that person's going to say, bring them in for an interview. If they have these kind of questions on the application process, bring them into the interview. Or you can just quick apply and get put on the list of 150 people and take your chances that somebody with no blockchain training, experience, or education, they're going to take a flyer on you or take a chance on you and just hire you out of goodwill because you applied in 5 minutes. Either or. Let me know if this helps you. I could be absolutely wrong. I don't think I am. And once you build in this habit, you can deploy it each and every single time. And the connections you make, if somebody reached out to Carlos and said, hey, Carlos, this is what I've done this already. Can you help me walk you through that document that you created? I guarantee now Carlos is looking at this person like, hey, this person is pretty good. We could probably use them on our team. I know this happens because people reach out to me the same way. I hope this helps you. Talk soon, friends.